A space mission with only women on board sounded historic, like totally girl power. Except that most of the crew consisted of rich women who knew as much about space as guinea pigs.
I'm really excited about the engineering of it all. I'm excited to learn more about STEM and just the math about what it takes to accomplish this type of thing. You know, I've always been interested in astrophysics and interested in astronomy and astrology and the stars. I feel like we are all made of stardust and we all come from the stars, and it'll be exciting to see them twinkle from that site and also have such an appreciation for Mother Earth when we see it in that way.
What do you think? I like turtles.
Comparing science to nonsense about star signs is a choice, but only after the landing came the actual crash. Katy Perry kissed the ground she had left barely 10 minutes earlier after a mission shorter than Taylor Swift's All Too Well music video. Gayle King babbled about her respect for Mother Earth after literally evaporating millions into hot air.
The best part was when we got back in our seats after 0 G's, Katy sang, "What a Wonderful World." And she said, "It's not about me. I wanted to talk about the world."
Wow.
And they were constantly referred to as astronauts.
Okay, I went to the zoo yesterday. Now I'm a koala bear.
But that was just the beginning.
Have y'all been to space? Have you been in space?
No, motherfucker, we got bills and shit.
When Oprah Winfrey said that she'd never been so proud of Gayle King, a respected and important journalist, and apparently the most impressive thing she's ever done is sit on what's functionally an Uber to space.
I've always hated hen parties, and this just looked like the worst one on the planet. Astronaut!
And people got pretty creative in their reactions.
I think the word you're searching for is space ranger.
The word I'm searching for, I can't say because there's preschool toys present.
But it was still a huge shitstorm that celebrities also took part in.
Saying that you care about Mother Earth and it's about Mother Earth and you're going up in a spaceship that is built and paid for by a company that's single-handedly destroying the planet.
It's so much money to go to space.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and there's a lot of people who can't even afford eggs.
It didn't help when wannabe astronaut Gayle King whined about haters.
What you're doing in space is trying to make things better here on Earth. What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner.
I'm sorry, is she talking about polluting space?
Please don't call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, you have never said to an astronaut, boy, what a ride.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
What a ride.
A ride implies that it's something frivolous or something that's lighthearted. There was nothing frivolous about what we did.
But you didn't do much more than take a seat and hope you get safely back down. And then she, of course, had to again bring up feminism.
What it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that. I've had so many women and young girls reach out to me, and men too, by the way, men too, that say, wow, I never thought I could do that, but I see you doing it at this stage of my life. Who would have thunk it? Not me.
Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
They didn't do or achieve anything real female astronauts before them hadn't done. Except those women didn't just sit on their butts, grinning through a few seconds of weightlessness.
Taking up space! Astronaut!
So after our collective heads exploded with rage, one question remains. Why are we actually getting so worked up about this? I mean, a few years before this, some rich man did exactly the same thing, and it was just as insane. Like Star Trek's Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner.
Beam me up, Mr. Spock.
Billionaire Richard Branson, and of course, Blue Origin's founder, Jeff Bezos, aka another billionaire who bought himself his own space company. As you do. But the criticism wasn't nearly as loud. So is it just because this time it was women? I think the answer is yes and no. First, those men weren't referred to as astronauts. They were called space tourists. But the bigger problem is the timing. Currently, the economy, especially in the US, is a bit in a pickle. By order of the Trump administration's DEI policies, NASA had to cancel plans for the first woman and first person of color on the moon. Comic books imagining the first woman on the moon had been deleted from NASA's website. Information about female scientists is being erased, while, by the way, 2 of the crew actually have STEM backgrounds. And online misogyny is getting louder and louder.
I hate when women wear jeans on a date. It's like the least feminine thing I can think of. I would say before we meet up, don't wear jeans.
When we ask you to do basic women-like things for us, we want you to act like women in our mom's generation. The women that took care of their husbands, cooked for their husbands. We don't want moms. We want you to act like wives.
A woman is like a child, very easy to manipulate. That's why we got kicked out of Garden of Eden.
You can smell the shit from 5 miles away.
And while all of this is happening, Blue Origin is putting on this feminist show, and Katy Perry and co. just happily smile and play along.
Just smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
Instead of uttering a single word about what's going on, they gush to Elle magazine about makeup and styling for their ride. Who would not get glam before the flight? Space is going to finally be glam. We are going to put the ass in astronaut. I also wanted to test out my hair and make sure that it was okay. Will the lashes stay on? I'm curious. I think it's so important for people to see us like that. Women are multitudes. I'm going to be wearing lipstick. I mean, of course, it's not wrong to want to look good, but come on. Read the room. But after rolling my eyes so many times that they almost got stuck in my head, I came to a conclusion that surprised even myself. This shitstorm is also a bit unfair because we might be partially to blame for this nonsense mission.
What?
The truly sad thing is that this could have meant something. Besides Katy Perry, Gayle King and Jeff Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez, there were actually women on board who had some credibility. Former NASA scientist Aisha Bowie and civil rights activist and astrobiologist Amanda Nguyen. They were also the first Bahamian and first Vietnamese person in space. But apparently they weren't marketable enough. And that's partly on us, or society. Because we're much more interested in fun stuff about celebrities, much more than actual science. And I mean, honestly, who can name a real female astronaut without Googling?
I don't. Do you?
No.
Does anybody?
But then there's also this. Actress Jessica Alba was one of the few celebrities who criticized this raging shitstorm when she shared an Instagram post that read, "I've seen endless criticism of 5 women doing their space thing. I can't see how it affects our lives. I wish people would show the same energy and focus that anger towards fearlessly denouncing Trump's abuses of power, which do affect countless lives in the US and the world." And I think that's absolutely true, to a point. Women are often judged or ridiculed for things that don't even make us shrug when a man does exactly the same. And yes, there are much more important issues that we should be loudly denouncing. But the problem is, we can't really do much about those. Just like when some big companies tell us to drink from a paper straw while they destroy the environment much more than we ever could.
What Blue Origin wants to do is take the waste here and figure out a way to put it in space to make our planet cleaner.
So when a few rich women make a fool of themselves for a dysfunctional Terminator from Wish, aka Jeff Bezos, and then slap this feminist label on it.
You're brave, you're bold, you're doing this for the next generation.
It's okay to be upset about it. Also because this isn't just a silly viral moment to rant about. It's much more than annoying for a whole other reason.
I'm sure it was a lot of fun, but according to the media, it was more than just fun. It was somehow, some way, historic.
They literally spent more time giving interviews and being on the cover of Elle magazine than they did in that phallic spaceship.
Apparently, Katy Perry was singing while this happened. If I were in space with Katy Perry and she started singing, I might actually just jettison myself into space. It might be a better choice.
They say pretty much the same thing I just did. And I hate it, because I don't want to agree with them. These, I don't even know what to call them, right-wing influencers happily use this goddamn mission for their interests, mainly to show how stupid or just bad the woke left is. And Katy Perry and her crew gave them ammunition.
Needless to say, any reporter who uses the phrase "feeling all the feels" should immediately and permanently lose their press credentials and their right to vote.
For me, it just signifies how silly and unnecessary feminism or even feminist politics actually are.
Loss of sense of humor across the aisle has been one of the worst things that has happened to our politics over the course of the last 15, 20 years. I'm old enough to remember a time when you actually were allowed to make fun of both sides. That time was like the Bush administration. Then Barack Obama came along.
This time they didn't have to twist anything or take it out of context or just pull it out of their asses. This space mission served them their content on a silver platter. And it's infuriating, because what they do is dog whistling. In this case, it's using fake neutrality or even supposed reason to stir up good old misogyny. We're lured in because it sounds harmless enough. And as we listen, we stumble headfirst into a bubble. And from there, it can be a slippery slope into more extreme stuff. So as if feminism hasn't been ridiculed for centuries, thanks to Katy Perry and her wannabe astronauts, it's once again a punchline. And those damn misogynists are not even entirely wrong this time.
Oh, it's so dumb, it's brilliant. No! It's just dumb.
It was ridiculous, and it had jack shit to do with feminism. Now, to be fair, I don't think that Katy Perry and the others meant any harm. Maybe they truly believe that this is a great achievement for women. But in participating in this PR stunt, they didn't only hurt feminism. They disrespected the over 100 women who have actually flown into space and done much more before them, without getting a fraction of this news coverage. Because both science and feminism can't be squeezed into a short, glamorized dopamine snack for the internet. And in the end, they also hurt themselves, because most of these women achieved a lot of success in their respective fields. And it's actually just sad that they've lost a ton of credibility to, as Katy so eloquently said, put the ass in astronauts.